back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. This is episode 8 of Bel-Air. And man, I am very impressed with this show. Last week we seen that Phil and Viv, they had their differences. He went Olly out there to San Diego to try to save his wife. But what did she do? She ended up going out, getting a late night drink with Reed and came up with names for this art expo because she really wants that. She wants it bad too. We also know that the police kicked in the door and shut down the party. And Carlton found out that Lisa is sleeping with Will. Now, before we break this down, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of it, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, moving forward, we got to see how is Phil and Viv going to go moving forward, making sure that the relationship is still good, even though she wants to pursue her thing. And also, what is Hilary going to do? Did she get the video taken down or is she going to pose for Victoria's Secret? So let's jump into it. This is episode 8 of Bel-Air. We start the episode off with Uncle Phil out here playing golf. Of course, we got our man Carlton as the caddy, and he's a little upset because he's on punishment right now. You remember, there was a birthday party that was thrown. It had to get shut down. But Carlton is saying, why isn't Will out here helping with the caddy when he's the one that actually threw the party? But his dad is saying, Will doesn't know about this lifestyle. You do, Carlton. So don't take it out on Will. You need to own up to this. Carlton wants to use the golf carts on the back 9. The back 9 means, you know, the first 9 holes and then you got 18 total. So the last 9, he wants to take a cart because he ain't trying to walk. But Uncle Phil says it's Will's birthday. So that's why his punishment is delayed. And also, the commissioner, I called him. I got everything settled. If Lisa wasn't there to call her dad, then one thing, this would have been blown out of proportion. And the second thing, I told the commissioner, this looks like it was a targeted attack by my opponent. The chief of police. Now Carlton is hearing this and, oh, Dad, you really looked out for me? And he gives a sincere apology because we know that Phil's going to do anything and everything he can to protect his children. And Carlton's thinking about it. Dang, thanks, Dad. For Will's birthday, they're bringing his mom out. Now, they're chartering a private jet from Philly all the way to LA. So he may have took a helicopter to San Diego to see his wife. But he's like, thank you, Aunt Viv, for bringing my mom out. Will's excited to see his mom. Aunt Viv is here and she's seeing Vi and she's like, yeah, this is what family do. Now, we know that these two haven't been seeing eye to eye. We don't know what's really going on between the two. But we know that Viv was saying Will should stay out here. He has more opportunity here than he does in Philly. Now, Vi, you know, she thanks for the flight out here. But these two, it doesn't look like they're as close of sisters as we thought they were. Miss Thirsty Chef herself, Kylo, comes in. He talking about 3 million views. Oh my God, let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. When's the next video? Now, she's trying to change things up. You know what I'm saying? She got in front of the camera. She's thinking about it. I told my parents I'm not going to do this. And Kylo was saying, I'd hate for you to miss this opportunity. Your numbers are taking off. And when you do regular tutorials, it's only getting a fraction of the views that it should be getting. So she's like, I know, but I don't want to do it too much because people are going to get tired of it. You got to keep cranking that material out, darling, if you want to make it. Uncle Phil is out here with the commissioner and he's asking him, does he have that endorsement? Now, the reason for this is because him and Fred, they're both on a Democratic ticket. So it looks like they're, saying splitting the vote. So one of them needs to take charge. And he's saying, I don't know, Phil. You know what I'm saying? Your wife, she hasn't been on the campaign after she's ran her mouth. Your kids are throwing parties. The police are showing up. Your daughter is posting thirst traps. I don't know. And Uncle Phil is saying, well, my family, this isn't their campaign. But it's how the community looks at your family. If you can't keep your family in check, how are you going to keep the community in check? They get back to the house. Vi's looking around like, man, this house is nice. Oh, I know that artwork. Will said, I'm going to take your stuff upstairs. But he get a text message from Lisa. I'm in the pool house. Kissy face, wink face. Damn, Lisa. So you throwing that thing on Will at the house and you breaking and entering into the pool house just to give him some more? Now, while Will's out there trying to figure out what's going on with Lisa, Vi is talking to Viv. She thinks she wants to tell Will about his father. Now, out of all the time you could have told Will about this, you wait till you come out here on his 17th birthday to tell him about it. I don't agree with that. Let this man have his birthday party and we'll figure out his father's situation later. But something is up because even Viv, she's a little iffy and hesitant on letting Will know what happened to his father, Lou. She talking about, are you prepared for that? So that means Lou must have been messing up big time. Will goes out in that pool house. Lisa trying to throw it on him the second he gets in there. He's like, whoa, wait. My mom is here. I don't think we should do this. Matter of fact, you should meet her. She's like, I don't think your mom just wants to meet some random girl on her first day here. He's like, but you're not random. But you do have a point. How about at my birthday party, you come over and you meet her? She said, all right, I can do that. You just got to handle Carlton. Now, of course, we know Carlton has seen Will getting freaky with his ex. But, hey, you got to get over it, Carlton. Now, we know Bel-Air is called Hush. This family talks too much. They run their mouth to individuals that don't need to know it. The kids don't need to know what's going on in your political campaign. But he just told Carlton about what the commissioner thinks about him and Fred splitting the vote. And Carlton's like, is there anything I can do? Can I help? And Phil's like, nah, I think I got it. Now everyone's showing up to the house. We got to meet our auntie. Hill shows up looking good as ever. And Vi's talking about, yeah, I follow her. I comment on every video. But did you see this thirsty chef thing? She's like, oh, it's just one time. He was just like, it's one time. Now you got Viv over here talking about, yeah, I used to be on there, but she blocked me. Like, damn, Hilary, you blocked your mama on Instagram? Thirsty chef, you? Even Carlton shows up. Hey, Aunt Vibe. She's like, oh, Carlton, you're so handsome. He said, you know what? I always loved your honesty. Charlton is actually a charming person. You keep him off the drugs and keep Will and Lisa out of his face. Carlton ain't that bad of a character. Now they start talking about the food and how all the food that Hilary made actually came from another generation. Grandma used to make that food and Hilary took it and ran with it. But now we find out where the differences come between Vi and Viv. Now, Vi was actually taking care of Grandma. Viv wasn't there. They did everything they could for her to be an artist. Now you hear Uncle Phil say, I was sending money, but she's saying money only does so much. And I wasn't going to pay for someone to take care of our mother. Now the family is getting in a huge argument where really it's just the two sisters getting into an argument. And Will's like, all right, look, let's not talk about that no more. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to Grandma, but come on, y'all. Let's celebrate. Now we're finally having the father-daughter conversation because you remember Viv told Hilary that tell her dad about getting this fixed. So when he confronts her about it, she's talking about your campaign. They should be happy about my body positivity post. But just last week, you were almost about to cry about it, about getting it taken down. So now you're saying you want to keep it up. Okay, I respect it. You want to do that. But Uncle Phil, he doesn't want anything to do with this. She talking about I know how to make good business moves. He said, you know what? Have at it then. Have at it. Now she's playing the role. Mom, don't you understand what I'm trying to do? She's chasing her dreams, even if it means showing skin on camera. Even if she doesn't want to post up, that fame goes to your head. Social media takes these kids in directions they've never seen. But for that clout, they'll do anything. And Aunt Viv is sticking with the, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I support you and I'll stick with you. This is your daughter. She just came to you last week asking how can she fix this. You need to be helping her. You need to be convincing her to get out of this because that rabbit hole is deep. Now, Will, he's focused on what's going on between his mom and his aunt. And she's saying, I'm here for your birthday. Don't worry about that. And now she's asking him how far does he remember back? Because she's just trying to get a visual and an idea of how much Will remembers. Because you know she wants to introduce what happened to his father and where Lou is now and presumably what he has going on and why he left. Viv, she says, you know what? I'm about to go in there and paint. I am on a strict schedule. Reed got me working harder than I ever worked before. Now, Uncle Phil wants to know, are you going to come to the room? Are you going to sleep in the bedroom tonight? Or are you going to be in here working hard for Reed? She's like, I'm not working hard for Reed, Phil. She's saying, I'm doing this for me. This is what I want to do. I have a tight schedule. Now, of course, Uncle Phil, he's seen it firsthand, what could potentially come out of her being around Reed, and he just wants his wife back. Yeah, he hasn't been as attentive and showed her as much attention as she needs or she feels like she deserves. But he's trying to run a campaign also. He's doing something while the whole time the family is bringing him down. Because you heard what happened. The campaign, Viv was running her mouth. His daughter is showing skin. His son is throwing parties. And guess what? All of this, Viv signed off on it for. Viv ran her mouth. Viv told Hilary to go do what she wants to do and she'll support her. Viv said that Will and Carlton could throw the party, so we're not going to gloss over that. Now, Aunt Viv tells Uncle Phil that Vi wants to talk about Lou, and he's like, whoa, this isn't the right time. So it seems like whatever's going on with Will's dad is a little bit deeper. Maybe Uncle Phil has something to do with it, and he's like, hey, this isn't a good time, This just isn't a good time for a young boy to be hearing whatever information they have. It's the next morning. Vi's in the kitchen cooking up. They're like, oh, it smells good in here, Ma. It's nothing better than getting that home cooked breakfast from your mom whenever you go back in town and she comes and visit. Ah, man, you love it. And she's like, oh my goodness, you just look so much like. And Will's like, look like who? She almost slipped up and said Lou, but then she said like a man. Now what she's doing is trying to cover it up because he wants to know, do I look like the dad? Do I look like my dad? We got the same ears? What we got? She said, that's hard to tell because all your good looks come from me. Now, I will say they did a good job with these casting. Will does look like he could be her daughter, and they got the same hairstyle. Carlton comes down and has a biscuit. He said, man, this is one of the best biscuits I ever had. She's like, yeah, I be cooking up. He said, why can't my mom cook like this? Y'all laughed at me when I was saying Reed was talking about Viv Smith. Yeah, she won the twerk contest. Well, yeah, she just said, your mom was wild. She went on the stage with D'Angelo. Now, even Will's congratulating Carlton. Like, yeah, Carlton's the top of his class. So even though they have their differences, he's trying to big up his little brother. You know what I'm saying? They ain't brothers, but they brothers, if you get what I'm saying. Now, Aunt Viv talking about, I didn't climb up on the stage. I was invited. And Vi said, we don't remember you being invited. You just went up there. So Vivian Smith was a wild thing back in the day. Explains why she's out with Reed. She can't give up them past tendencies. Uncle Phil calls G in, and we all know that G is literally a G. And he's talking a little bit about the campaign, but the big issue is Vi wants to tell Will about Lou. Now, he wants Geoffrey to try to keep this under wraps and, figure out what's going on, but keep it quiet. Now, one thing about Geoffrey, he says, that's not me, sir. Like, wouldn't you wouldn't you want to know? So we really need to figure out what information does Phil have on Lou. Maybe he's the one that got him sent away. I don't know, but they're trying to keep it hush hush. They go out to the beach, get to enjoy this sunny California weather. And he's like, man, thanks to Uncle Phil and them for bringing me out here. Boy, the opportunities are endless. And she's like, Uncle Phil, what about me? I raised you by myself. Yeah, you did, Mom. You did. But we're talking about right now. We're not going in the past. We're talking about the opportunities I have now. So you can't discredit Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv because they brought me out here when you were the one that called them. I didn't come out here on my own, Mom. You sent me out here. So I'm thankful that they accepted to bring me in. Of course, you raised me, but you also got rid of me. I won't say got rid of me, but you sent me out here to get a better life. Now, Hilary's over here. She's hearing Kylo talk about you. You better get your butt to work, girl. Even though she knows she doesn't want to do this, deep down inside, this is not where she wants to be. She's setting up the 4K camera, and she gets in front of it, but she's like, She covers herself up like, dang, you ain't the thirsty chef no more. It's the dry chef. Put on the show. Geoffrey set up a meeting between Fred and Uncle Phil. Now, they need to talk about this Democratic Party. And what Phil is saying is, hey, stop parading. There's no cameras out here. But Fred is also saying, I am a public servant already, and this is what I do. I take it serious. But Uncle Phil says in the debate, whoever wins the debate, the other person concedes and gives their full support to the other candidate. This way, it's not two Democrats running and you split the vote and then the Republican vote, they get all of it. You see what I'm saying? So they at least agree on this, and this is a start. Hilary Banks, businesswoman, handles everything on her own. She goes over to talk to our boy Kylo, and she's saying, I don't want to do that kind of content anymore. I'm trying to find myself. And he's like, that sounds good, but I did a little research on you. You quit all your jobs. You had an online persona that you were doing, and then you just gave that up. So you have a tendency of quitting things when it doesn't go your way. Now, I tell you guys all the time, if you're going to grind, you're going to have to grind. You got to put in that work. Nothing comes easily. But he also tells her, everything that's recorded in here is mine. It's my property. Oh, you didn't read your contract, did you? because you got to buy yourself out of this contract. And if I want you to record something, you have to do it. And Kylo is not wrong for this because it was written in black and white and she signed her name. Now, that's on her to read the contract, miss. Do it all on your own. Now, Aunt Viv said she was going to show up and, come to lunch with them if it was okay with Vi. Now, they go out, they eat at a nice restaurant. They talking about the celebrities they seen in there. Talking about Rihanna was in there. I'm like, shoot, how much? Oh, this menu is a little too expensive for me. Can't go in here. But Aunt Viv is saying, I want the kids to be able to, have this experience. So when they go out into the world, they're accustomed to these kind of events. Now, these two are going at it. I don't know what it is, but it's a little jealousy here. And she's talking about, Aunt Viv is saying, I'm back into painting. I actually got a little expo that I'm trying to get into. And Vi is saying, I was a little disappointed when you stopped painting because me and Mom, we worked so hard so you could come out here. We spent money for you to come out to LA and start off, and do everything you're doing now. But you just gave up on it. So it's a little bit of, resenting what she did for her sister back in the day. And it's just been brewing. Now, Phil comes outside. He got to get his training in, doing a little bit of punching, saying Geoffrey helping him out. But he's telling him, Geoffrey, don't tell Will about Lou. Make sure Lou don't come anywhere around here. And Geoffrey's like, look, what would you do if that was your son? Wouldn't you want to know where your father is? Wouldn't you give him an opportunity to at least see for himself? And Phillip is like, Geoffrey, I pay you. You do what I say. And Geoffrey's sitting there. He's like, all right, boss. Because, at the end of the day, you don't want that check to go in. This isn't your family business anyway. You just work for the family. Will and his mom, they walk off to have a little conversation. But he wants to have a real one-on-one with his mom about what went on with his dad. And this is one of the conversations that needed to be had. And he's just asking what happened. And she's saying, oh, I didn't want you to know about your dad because he used to have ideas to do like businesses and they never worked. And then he ended up leaving. And Will is like, dang, kind of sucks to hear that. But you don't know the full story because you got your mama's side, you got your daddy's side, you got the truth. But hearing it from your mom, who you've been with, it could cloud your judgment because you trust her with everything. Now, the only right thing you could do in this situation is let Will talk to his father and you let him decide because he's 17 years old on what he wants to do moving forward. And now she told him all this stuff. Will still wants to know, what was he like? What was his qualities? What did he look like? What did he want to do? Now she's saying, he didn't really have the best intentions or anything. But again, that's still up to Will to decide. And even Will says, Mom, I wouldn't have picked you out to be someone to put up with someone's BS. She says, oh, now I changed. So she willingly admitting that she slept with Will's father, knowing everything that he was doing. So it's not really all on Will's father. It's some on her too for allowing a quote unquote bum to sleep with her. It's birthday party time. Now, I didn't show up with no gift for Will, but they're saying Uncle Phil may be a little bit late. He's stuck on the one-on-one in traffic. Now, they did order some food from Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And if you ever go out to LA, I'd advise you to stop by. Get there kind of early because there's usually a line. Now, I don't know how it is since the pandemic started, but pre-pandemic, yeah, it was a line out there. Our boy Jazz shows up to the party. Not for Hilary, but it's my boy Will's birthday. And these two are talking and she actually apologizes for what happened last week at the bar. And he's like, oh, okay. I understand. I respect it. So what is your plan? And she says she needs $50,000 to break that contract. He's like, 50,000? Sheesh, that's steep. All you was offering me was gas money. I ain't got it. But he does say, I accept your apology. Plus, you looking good. Now, Carlton, he has a gift for Will. He got him some ankle weights. And what we're about to see here from Vi is very important moving forward because this is what we all been looking for. She's saying her and her sister, they may not be on the best of terms. But when Will was growing up, he always wanted a brother. And that's what you two have. Now, she doesn't know what's going on between Carlton and Will, but she's saying you two are brothers. And even Carlton says, when I was younger, I always wanted a brother. So in her head, she's thinking, you two are cousins. Y'all need to work it out like brothers. And that's the point that we're trying to see these two young men get to. Lisa comes over and she finally gets to meet Mrs. Smith. And she's like, oh, nice to meet you. Is Will treating you like a gentleman? No, the real question is she treating him like a real woman should? And she is. She putting that thing on Will any chance she can get. But At least they hitting it off. And Will's been telling his mama a lot about Lisa, but he never mentioned that Lisa was Carlton's ex, I bet. Now, since Uncle Phil isn't here with the food, let's open up a couple of gifts. And Will opens up the first gift of him and his mom. He opens it up. He's like, wait, who took this picture? And we all know that was probably Lou. But she's like, oh, no, you know what I'm saying? It was a good picture. But Aunt Viv, she runs interference. She's like, oh, Will, come and open up my gift. He got a pair of exclusive J's from Aunt Viv. I'm talking about signed by Michael Jordan himself. Look at Jazz. Jazz like, ooh, them things is clean. Now, if you remember this white boy, this is the one that helped Will get on the basketball team and told him what he needed to do. So Will got him a little crew. While everyone's celebrating, oh, Will, them J's is nice. Viv and Vi, they over in the corner, they get to arguing. Talking about, I pursued my dreams, man. You should have did what you had to do. Now you mad and upset that I'm out here with Phil and this is the lifestyle we have. It's like, hey, y'all need to have this conversation one-on-one. But they're having it, and everyone turns around and they hear Aunt Viv talking about, I'm not a victim. I did what I had to do. It's like, dang, we must be at the wrong birthday party. Now Aunt Viv is upset. Vi done got into it with her. These two ain't on the same page. Everyone's looking like, dang, I ain't. Yeah. Hilary, you gonna make us some snacks or something till the food gets here? Viv goes into the painting room and she's kind of losing it. Sometimes you just gotta shout at the top of your lungs and get it off your chest. She's talking about how Vi was doing everything on her own. She was taking care of Mom. She actually helped her come out to LA. They bought that ticket, helped her get into painting. Well, not get into painting, but help her continue her dream of painting. Carlton's in there and he's talking to his mom. Now, he just got some information from Vi about Will wanting a brother, and since he wanted a brother, he's telling her to do the same thing they should do. You should go out there and talk to Vi, and you guys try to figure things out. And she's like, Carlton, when did you get so smart? He said, from the 100 times you told me and Will to do this, I figured it out. So this is good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to hear it from an outside source. The least expected person may give you the most valuable information. Now, Vi is telling Will, it's just, she's going so hard, and it's because she feels like she's getting erased from Will's life. They're doing everything they can for Will out here. Yeah, they have more money, more opportunity. She felt like Aunt Viv was updoing her when she gave her son some J's that cost way more than the picture she gave. But you got to understand, when we get gifts from our mother, we're like, okay, I got this gift from my mother. I'm going to cherish this. I'm going to put this up there. Those shoes, he's just going to walk around in them. He may not wear them, but he's always going to look at this picture of him and his mama. The two sisters, they actually talk. And this is usually all it takes. A conversation. And they're both apologizing to each other. And just like just like Will told her, no one can erase you. She's telling Viv the same thing. You're my sister. And I can't take out all my anger on you because I made my choices. And that's what I was saying earlier. She decided to sleep with Lou. She decided to have a kid with Lou. So she can't be upset that Lou does what Lou does because that's who she chose. So they both decide that they're going to wait to tell Will anything about his father. And I think that's the best thing, especially after seeing your mom and aunt getting into it. Give them a couple of days and then give them the information or whatever information you do have. Everyone's having that talk with each other. And now it's time for Carlton and Will. And he's saying, look, whatever you and Lisa got going on, that's not my business. I'm not with her anymore. Now, I'm not going to feud with you for the next 10 years or anything, Will. You know, you moved on with my ex, so be it. All I ask is for you not to hurt Lisa. So at least these two, they're talking, and it looks like Carlton may actually be able to get over Lisa because we know he met him a new thing last week at the party when he got his black card back. Will goes to talk to Geoffrey. He wants answers about his pops. Now, he doesn't know that G has information from Phil and knows what's going on behind the scenes. All he knows is that Geoffrey is the guy that can get things done in the house. So he asked Geoffrey, if you can get any information on my dad, can you do it? And Geoffrey says, look, I'll try to find out some information. That's because we already heard him say earlier with Uncle Phil, what would you do if that was your son? It's up to Will to decide this. Now, Geoffrey's job is to keep Lou away, so this might be easier for him. Geoffrey may be the liaison to set up a meeting between Lou and Will. there you go, episode 8 of Bel-Air. Let me know what you think about the whole Viv and Vi thing. Do you think that the sisters got all that jealousy and hate out of their system and they could move forward? And also, do you think that Geoffrey is going to go get this information on Lou and give it to Will, especially without Uncle Phil knowing, since he already told him, you work for me? Let me know what you guys think. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you tune in Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the live after show discussion of Bel-Air episode 8. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.